In 1894, the world was declared finished. The Royal Society of Cartographers in London announced that every corner of the Earth had been mapped. The age of discovery was over. For Elias Thorne, the Society's most brilliant young archivist, this wasn't a victory, it was a death sentence. That night, surrounded by ancient maps in the dusty archives, Elias felt a sense of loss. He loved the old charts, the ones that admitted ignorance, the ones that boldly declared, "Here be dragons." He believed that true discovery lay not in filling in the blanks, but in appreciating that the blanks existed. Deep within the restricted section, he found something that defied all modern science. It was a map, drawn on a strange, skin-like material in shimmering ink. It showed an impossible archipelago in the Southern Ocean, labeled Terra Somnium, the land of sleep. In the margins, a cryptic Latin warning: it is not a place, but a state. Elias cross-referenced the coordinates. An Admiralty ship, the Obsidian, had vanished in that exact spot in 1702. When he presented the map to his superior, Lord Stirling, he was laughed out of the room. A fantasy. Thorne. Sailors' hallucinations. There is nothing there. But Elias had a different thought. We see the world not as it is, but as we are told it exists. Dismissed and ridiculed, Elias risked everything. He sold his inheritance, bought an old steam trawler named the Peregrine, and hired a crew of desperate men. They sailed south, into a world of gray sea and grayer skies. Weeks turned into a month. As they neared the coordinates, strange things began to happen. The compass needle pointed straight down into the abyss. The constellations in the night sky stretched and warped, as if the very geometry of space was bending around them. Then, the fog rolled in. It was a warm, dry vapor that smelled of old libraries and ozone. The ocean fell silent. The ship was moving, but the water was still. Suddenly, a cry from the lookout. The fog parted like a theater curtain, revealing a sight that defied all logic. Before them was Terra Somnium. Spires of rock twisted into impossible spirals. Waterfalls flowed upward into the clouds. The colors of the plants vibrated with hues that had no names. Elias led a small party ashore. The beach wasn't sand. It was millions of tiny, crushed pocket watches, their hands frozen in time. As they moved inland, the island reacted to their thoughts. When a crewman feared a predator, the shadows coalesced into a wolf-like beast. When the Cephas doctor marveled at a flower, it bloomed and dissected itself, revealing its inner workings. Elias understood the map's warning. This was not a place of matter, but of potential. It was raw reality, shaped by the mind of the observer. Because the so-called civilized world had declared the map finished, all the mystery, all the magic, and all the fear had been pushed here, to this one forgotten point on the globe. In the center of the island, they found a temple of non-Euclidean geometry, where pillars stood both in front of and behind each other at the same time. On a pedestal sat a blank book. Consumed by obsession, Elias pulled out his quill. He had to map it. He had to prove them wrong. He touched pen to paper and began to draw the coastline. Instantly, the ground shook. The impossible waterfalls crashed down, suddenly obeying gravity. The vibrant colors dulled. A voice echoed, not from the crew, but from the air itself. To define is to destroy. It resonated in his mind. You, cartographers, are the jailers of the world. You draw lines and say, this is all there is. You kill the wonder. Do not kill this place. Elias looked at his map, then at the beautiful, terrifying chaos outside. He realized the voice was right. To map the unknown was to convert it into the known, to domesticate a miracle. A crewman burst in, shouting that the island was falling apart. Elias's attempt to impose logic upon this place was tearing it apart. He made a choice. He crumpled his drawing and threw it into the abyss. "Let's go!" he yelled. They sprinted back to the beach, the sand of watches now ticking in a deafening roar of lost time. As the Peregrine pulled away, the island dissolved into mist and light. Behind them, there was only the empty, gray ocean. The stars snapped back into place. The compass swung north. A year later, Elias Thorne stood before the Royal Society again. Well, Mr. Thorne. Lord Sterling sneered. Did you find your invisible continent? Elias unrolled a large parchment on the table. It was blank. A gasp filled the room. The world, Elias said softly, is not finished. There are places that exist only as long as we leave them alone. Realms that require our belief, not our tools. He tapped the empty sheet. I leave this space blank not because there is nothing there, but because we need to remember that we do not know everything. We need the unknown. We need the monsters in the margins. Elias Thorne walked out, leaving the blank map in a room of stunned academics behind. He never sailed again, but he became a master storyteller, teaching the world that while maps guide our feet, it is the mysteries off the map that guide our souls. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories that explore the uncharted territories of our imagination.